This is Scott Bach-Hansen, Vice President for Cardinal Basketball Officials Association. And today we're going to talk about end-of-game situations. This is a video that we can learn a lot from. I'm not trying to single out the three officials here in a negative way, but the conversation is really twofold. One is, how do we handle a game that's a 23-point blowout with 5+ minutes to go? The white team is up by 23. The green team, who's going to be bringing the ball down here at the end line, is constantly being pressed. As a crew, we are calling a lot of ticky-tack fouls against green, and we are also calling some violations, free throw, shooting violations, 3-second violations. These are things that if a team's up by or down by 23, we want to use better discretion in that world. The other thing is, I'm not saying that we can't call fouls on green, but especially because white's pressing and up by 23 points, we've got to be able to get those, because if we don't, the game can escalate and we could potentially have a situation. So in this piece right here that I'm going to play for you, you'll see that the observers here are myself and Marie Murray, who's one of our varsity officials. And we are coming out to talk to the crew about just the game awareness, game management, what you should be paying attention to, maybe staying away from the ticky-tack calls. And at the very end, Marie will remind the guys it's 9-9 in team fouls. We should be shooting 1-on-1 the rest of the way. And they shoot 1-on-1 on 10 in this league. So I'll just go ahead and play it for you so you can listen to our conversation, and hopefully it will give you some insight into what we're trying to share with the crew.
Hey, let's just talk game management here, all right? If you look at the time and the score, one team is way up.
Okay.
Calling marginal fouls, calling marginal violations against them is probably, from a game management perspective, not what we need. Okay. Getting them on the other end is a different story. Also, they're pressing up 23. All right, so whoever's my C needs to be back here, and I would make sure that anything close, I'm hitting a foul. Game management. That's the mode we're in right now.
Okay. 9 fouls, so we're on the line.
That's all.
We're going to shoot 1-on-1 forever.
All right, so we can tell that it's going to be a long end of the game here. You heard Marie say 9 fouls, so we're on the line. That's just basic stuff that we should be talking about, as crews. Hey, next one's 1-on-1, having better dynamics. Even here, our center is too high. There's no reason that you can't be the free throw line extended, which would be right where this arrow is. So, they're still pressing, and I'm going to pause this for a second and move it up, because there's a couple of times where green's shooting 2 shots and not a lot's happening. But I want to show you what happens when we get to roughly about halfway point of this, about the 245, 244 mark. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this. Okay, so I'm going to set this up for you again. The score is now looks like 27 or 28 point difference. And there's 2:51 left on the clock. White has fouled 10 times because they've already been down here shooting a couple times for green. There's 9 team fouls still on green. But, and I'm going to mute the sound here for a second so we can just kind of talk through this. So again, with that kind of lead and they're pressing, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I take care of the game management side here. So I got a foul here, not called. I got a foul there, and it's not called. I'm going to hit one here, not called, and now we got one. So we get the 4th one, okay? So what you're going to hear is if I back this up, and I'll put the sound back, to where it was, you're going to hear the frustration come out of my voice and Marie's voice, because we've been shooting down here, and the foul, we should automatically know that number 20, who's the dribbler here, should go to the line. And we don't, and we put ourselves into correctable error.
Good job staying in there. All right, we should be knowing we're in bonus. We should be knowing we're in bonus. And how do we get surprised again?
Oh my God! I told them both of them at when we met. When Roberto, you said one both ways. We even.
Okay, so listen, I also don't want anybody that's watching this video to think that we're being negative against this crew. It's just very frustrating. As ones that are out trying to teach, train, develop, we still got to be able to referee, and we still got to be able to manage a game, and we still got to be able to handle the situation, whether it's a freshman, JV, or varsity game. None of that is going to matter unless we're able to take care of what we need to take care of. So the frustration on our voices is natural, but it's meant in a way that we really want to focus on our guys doing the right things, and when they don't do the right things, it's tough. It's really tough. So what you're going to see here is the subs are in. So number 20 gets subbed out. He should be our shooter. And our trail, Roberto, who's also the crew chief in this game, kind of realizes, hey, wait, we should be 1-on-1. He throws the ball down to the lead. It says 1-on-1. This guy here says, hey, well, maybe I can get some free throws because I know I'm not supposed to be the shooter, but I'll go over there. So he goes to the free throw line, and somehow we talk ourselves out of it, and we decide to throw the ball back into the sideline.
No more shooter is.
That's very disappointing, guys.
Our shooter is on the bench. That is not our shooter.
Now we're just going to take the ball back out of bounds. So we're going to put ourselves in a correctable error situation.
Our shooter is number 20. He's got a drink in his hand, and he's sitting on the bench, I believe.
Guys. Oh. Correctable error. Now we got to correct it before the second wide ball.
All right, so just while we're on correctable error, a lesson. Okay, this is failure to award merited free throws. And it must be corrected before the ball becomes live the second time after the clock is properly started. So the first live ball happened when we handed the ball or bounced the ball to the thrower in. The clock properly starts. Now we have a dead ball as a result of a held ball for alternating possession. It stays with green. As soon as we bounce the ball to the thrower in, it's a live ball again, and our statute of limitations has ended. And now our statute of limitations has ended. So there's a lot of lessons here in this short video. We really need to pay attention to a lot of things. First of all, from a game management perspective, we need to be able to protect the players, both teams, and we got to make sure that we don't miss any fouls on white, anything close, especially if they're going to press up by 25 points in the backcourt. It's managing the game. It's call selectivity that's going to protect the integrity of the game, because if I'm green and white keeps pressing me and they're up by 20-something points, I'm going to get pissed. And I may end up taking that out in a way that becomes, physical, and that's what's something that can result. Anybody that's refereed for a long time knows this. So, again, this isn't an indictment of the three officials in this game, but I really would like to see us be better than this, especially towards the end of games. At the end of the game, these three officials should have gotten together during the timeout. We shouldn't have had to come out there, and they should have been able to say, listen, one team's up by a lot, time and score. Let's pay attention to the fouls that we call and the violations that we call on both sides. White's pressing. Let's make sure that we take care of business and not let them be overly aggressive. Both teams are in bonus. Let's make sure we get our shooters and take care of business before we bring subs in. So that's it for this lesson. Hopefully you've been able to learn something from it, and we can go from here. Thank you.